Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Badash. Peace and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Hey, bear with me 1 second. Hey, shalom. So I had to fix the audio real quick. Lord's will, this message will come through with clarity, and Lord's will, those that are meant to hear it will receive it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And the title of this lesson is Against All Odds. All right, against all odds. And this was inspired by some recent events, just experiences in life that the Lord puts us through. Because remember, everything we're going through in Babylon the Great America, this is a lesson. Everything we're going through, we're learning and becoming better men as the time progresses, as we endure in this truth. And I had to kind of, sometimes you got to do like an account, like a spiritual accounting of things that you've been through and things that the Lord has brought you through, to appreciate it, man. To appreciate how far the Lord has brought all of us, man. Because this truth is nothing short of a miracle. Okay? And from my personal testimony, I was completely lost in the world, man, before this truth. All right? Any confidence I had was vain. Any self-esteem I had was really vain, looking back on it. Because the spirit of the Lord wasn't there. And us brothers that are in this truth, we're meant to do the right thing through the spirit and power of Yahweh, the righteousness. And it's going to jack us up. And that's what we experienced in the world. We already played that part. We already been through that. But now, having this truth, we're supposed to take hold of it and become new men. And again, us having this truth is against all odds, man. Against all odds. You see, when you look at the percentage of 144,000 as opposed to what, 10 billion or so people in the world, it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent. All right. It's such a small number. That remnant is such a small number that this ministry, us being in this truth alone, is a miracle. Without having, walking on water and being healed of the despicable, abominable things that we used to do. And the Lord having mercy on us and bringing us to be the ministers of his truth is nothing short of a miracle. And that's why this video is entitled Against All Odds, man. And everything that the Lord has us doing right now is against all odds, man. Everything is stacked up against us. You see? They hate the Lord. So because the Lord, his spirit dwells in us, they're going to hate us too, as it is written, man. But what does the Psalm 139 say? And not I agree with those that rise up against thee, roughly paraphrasing it. So those that rise up against the Lord, that rebel against our power, we're against them, and they're against us. And really, it's a beautiful movie, man. It's the greatest story ever written. It's written in the scriptures, and only the elect understands the scriptures. So when you really marinate on everything in this truth, man, you really, you come to the conclusion that this is a straight up miracle. Okay? We're in a whole nother continent. All right? You got brothers from all different walks of life that, honestly, if we're keeping it 100 with each other, a lot of us may have hated each other if it were not for this truth. you know, because we didn't know any better. We were ignorant. But the Lord raised us out of that ignorance in order to be his servants and his ministers, and to understand brotherhood, love, patience, rebuke, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. You see? So being in this faith, man, is the greatest blessing that can be bestowed upon a man. And it's against all odds. So with that knowledge in mind, we ought to put our hands to the plow and be diligent with this. You see? The prophets of old were diligent, okay? And we want to receive a reward, right? So we got to be on point. And I'm exhorting myself first and foremost. All right? I'm exhorting myself first and foremost, man. When you persevere through things, I think it says it in the book of James, man. You know, when you go through certain things, you know, roughly paraphrasing it again, but you know, patience and experience and all these things, it builds you up. And it builds you up in faith to where the Lord shows you, he puts you in a bad predicament just to deliver you from it. So don't ever get so caught up in the moment that you're not looking at the bigger picture. And again, I'm exhorting myself. If I play this lesson back, it's going to be spiritual advice from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because again, we don't speak. It's the Spirit that speaks through us. You see, we're just men at the end of the day. But it's the Spirit of the Lord that speaks through us. And these are words of exhortation, man. Knowing that this is against all odds, that we have received this truth, should we not take our hand to the plow and be diligent? Should we not show up for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and for his men, for the flock, to feed the flock, having been given such an amazing blessing? You see, according to the statistics, most of us should be ignorant through, all right? A lot of brothers came up in fatherless homes. A lot of brothers had odds stacked against them like crazy, man. Really, all of us did. But certain brothers, you know, I'm going to say that certain brothers came up in some circumstances that were extremely rough. And for the Lord to have bestowed this upon us, man, again, so why did Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for this truth? So why did Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for this truth? With that knowledge in hand, you know, we're supposed to serve the Lord, be diligent with this, man. It seems like I'm a broken record, or you don't heard this before. Well, all right, you can watch another video. You know, it's no harm, no foul, but this is what the Spirit has me saying right now. Take hold of what we have received, man. Take hold of what we have received. Salakia. This car be acting up, you know, again, the hell of Babylon, you know. Even these cars are shit, man. But you know, we do our best. We do our best to maintain. But, you know, I just wanted to throw up this quick lesson to remind brothers to appreciate, and remind myself to appreciate this truth, and don't take it for granted, because many men have. Many men thought that they had a seat on the chariot already, and the Lord took it from them. You see? So, you know, that scripture's talking, and I mentioned this a lot, but that's the Spirit. In Hebrews, the 6th chapter, it mentions those that have tasted of the heavenly gift. You know, you have tasted of this and you turn back, you know, it's pretty much, you're done. All right. And the Lord, nothing is impossible with the Lord. But remember, in his word, it says that if you have tasted of that heavenly gift, in other words, you receive this truth, and you want to turn back to the world, or you want to turn away from this doctrine and bug out and teach something else, then hey, man, the Lord is going to deal with you. Because as we know, many false prophets have gone out into the world. Okay? So we ought to appreciate what the Lord has bestowed us with. Continue to strive for this truth, to strive to become better men. All right, to be on point with all things. Because if you're on point in the truth, this truth is not all about going out on the highways and teaching. In a sense, you could say that, but there's other aspects to it outside of that. Because remember, many men have done that, done those exact deeds, but they have fallen out. So it's really all about the Lord and who he wants to be in his truth and who he doesn't. He'll make an example out of any one of us, man. So we ought to never be too puffed up to think that, oh yeah, the Lord, I got this, I'm good. No, ain't nobody good until we make it on the chariot, man. All right. We have this truth, we're blessed, but remember that we have work to do. And it reminds me of that famous Kobe interview where he was up in the finals and the interviewer was like, you up, man. No, no, no. Yeah. We're up. We're winning. At the end of the day, hey, we are still winning. But don't get it twisted, man. The job is not done till the job is done, man. We ain't popping bottles and celebrating. You know what I'm saying? When the time comes, the Lord, Yahweh Shai, hey, we're going to drink new wine with the Lord, man. Lord's will. We make it. But now it's time to get the job done. You see? Now it's time to get the job done. And again, in that Kobe interview, what did he say? The interviewer was like, "Oh man, you up in the final, blah blah blah," and he didn't have no celebratory sense about him because the job wasn't done. You could be up and you could be down. The Lord could raise you up, and the Lord could bring your ass right back down, man. So we want to strive for this truth all the way up until the very end, until when the Lord deems it that, all right, this ministry is over with. And then it's on to the next glory. Then, hey, man, call Allah Yahweh Shem Al-Shad. Lord's will we make it that far? And it's good to envision that. It's good to envision that victory, brothers. Envision it. But also remember that there is work to be done. You see, and it's all about balance at the end of the day. And Salaki, again, I'm in transit, so I'm quoting the scriptures that I know off the top of my head, but we can't ever count as though we have the victory until Yahweh Shai comes back and crowns us. Then we're gonna know, yeah, Yahweh Shai got the victory. Now, who is a part of his body? Who is truly with him and who is not? That's the question. You see? Give diligence, man. And that comes with all things, man. Not just because remember, a man that is following his truth, everything that he does in his life is going to reflect the truth. See? Everything that we do is supposed to be a reflection of Yahweh Shem Yahushai for the most part. So when it comes to your job, what you do, how you conduct yourself outside of going on the highways and hedges, man, don't be a weekend warrior. I'm in the spirit on Saturdays and then the rest of the week I just do whatever. No. Practicing these things, become adept. And again, I'm exhorting myself, man, because we all can do better. We know this. All right. So, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. But just remember to appreciate this blessing because this truth, we have received this truth against all odds, man. So many things stacked up against us. A lot of us, majority of us have been jabbed from birth, man. They talking about the jab now. We've been getting jabs since we were babies. Heavy metals running through our blood, all up in our brains, man. We're all fucked up. But guess what? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is beyond that, right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is able to deliver us from anything that we may go through. There's nothing too hard for the Lord to deliver us from. So just walk with that and remember that. And I'm going to leave y'all brothers out there and a few sincere sisters that watch and learn with that end message. All right. So with that, all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakadash. Hey, Shalom to the next one.